How does a guy get up at the MTV Music Awards, lip sync 3 songs, and get a standing ovation? Something is wrong with music, okay?
Brendan wants to know how, after all the bad press, you can keep going despite of what the press say about celebrities and myself in general. I move ahead.
And like millions of other folks this year, Michael Jackson, too, moved into cyberspace.
Have you ever jacked in?
The worldwide computer network called the Internet has inspired more movies than any big-deal technological fad since, the CB radio boom of the 1970s.
All right. That's a big 10-4.
The Internet itself, however, is definitely exploding.
It hit, and within like 2 years, it's become so powerful.
If you ain't on the information superhighway, baby, then where is he?
We're sitting on the most perfect beach in the world, and all we can think about is
Where can I hook up my modem?
In 1995, some 10 million people regularly used the Internet. What's attracted many of them is the World Wide Web, with its proliferation of special interest truck stops called websites, and the arrival of network browser programs to make the whole thing, if not idiot-proof, at least user-friendly. Despite all the futuristic technobabble you hear about the Internet, however, most cyber voyagers log onto it in search of nothing more complicated than other people to talk to and to email.
I was speaking to somebody in Japan, somebody in Australia, somebody in New Zealand, somebody in Russia, all over the world.
I was at a Mike Watch show in St. Louis, and I was talking to some guy, and the next day, a guy came by with a printout and read back what I had talked to some guy at a show. It's kind of scary.
Some people would be strongly advised to avoid the Internet, the hypersensitive, the humor-impaired, and Puritans of every stripe.
Of course there's a lot of sex online. Welcome to the human race.
Sex and porn on the net got politicians so excited they tried to legislate it all away, and were last seen haggling over details of the huge fines and stiff jail sentences they wanted to levy on purveyors of naughty material. At least one Republican, though, was appalled.
It's clearly a violation of free speech, and it's a violation of the right of adults to communicate with each other.
Get off my board, man. You are too hot.
The ostensible aim of the legislation was to protect minors from online sleaze and net-surfing perverts. But screening programs for porn sites already exist, and patrolling conversations on the Internet is virtually impossible.
How can the computer kind of intuitively say, hey, you know, this conversation you're having in real time with someone is now suddenly obscene?
Initially, the Internet seemed a communications paradise, free of government involvement. No longer, though, a slew of cyber-related cases appeared in the courts this year, one of the most important involving Robert Thomas. Although Thomas lived in California, he was tried in Tennessee for transmitting porn on the Internet, and he was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
The Supreme Court has said over and over again that obscenity has to be defined by the local community. Now, cyberspace is a local community of 145 nations and 30 million people. Good luck.
I am the future. And you're losing your sense of humor.
Much more common, though, are websites devoted to homemade surrealism and out-there humor. Existential contemplations of the lowly Twinkie, the legendary Godzilla site, and at last, a twirling image of R2-D2. The net has become a blessing for music fans who can now access data about and often communicate with their favorite acts.
You can throw your name out and people will slag you all day long. So you really get humbled by it.
I think it's helped, along with the bootleg tapes, spread the word about us around a whole lot. And again, it's gratifying as hell. It's a little weird.
Web enthusiasts talk of many marvels to come, the wonders of virtual reality, which you can talk to someone pretending to be a penguin, and home computer movies almost as cool as, well, television. What are we to make of all this? Everybody has a different take.
We all have this sort of like basic deep need to communicate with other people. So I think that sort of explains the popularity of something like this.
Are you jacked into the Internet? Are you one of those computer guys?
I did at one time, a couple of years ago, but I got so tired of the rubbish on it that I dropped out again.